Hello, beautiful people. Welcome and or welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are here today, barefaced, kind of bonnet, beautiful, living a great life. I am going to recreate a look that I did for an event that I went to on my campus. We're going to be talking about my life in college. If you want to hear all about that and see how I achieved this look, keep on watching. Also, comment, share, like, you know the drill, subscribe. I've watched our little family grow from 1 to 15 over the past week, and it's so exciting to be back. So I'm gonna stop rambling. We're gonna get started. So I went to an event on my campus the other day. And it was called the Black Student Assembly. It's a thing that we do every year. And usually people like get dressed up. That is like the culture at my campus, like, because I go to a predominantly white institution, PWI. I'm not gonna set it, my eyeshadow, because if you set it and you're using color like I'm about to use, the color will be like dull. And ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. But yeah, so I go to a PWI, predominantly white institution, and basically, we dress up for everything. Like every seemingly like black event we dress up for. Personally, I love that because if I'm coming out. Like, yeah, and it's my senior year at my school, so I'm like really here to give the girls what they need, you know. But yeah, so BSA is an event that happens. If you go to a PWI at another school, um, let me know if y'all do that, like a Black Student Assembly or like a communities assembly, because BSA is like one of 5 big assemblies that we have on campus. So let me know if that's a thing that y'all do and if y'all go, how they operate. But yeah, I have this really cute outfit. I will show y'all. I might just put it back on because I should pop it. But yeah, so I'm gonna put that down. Switch to my favorite palette probably ever. My friend bought me this for my birthday. Sephora Pearl palette. She's beautiful, right? This orange has been through it, but we're gonna keep it pushing. So yeah, we're at this culture now where like people, can y'all be quiet after that? My goodness. People like dress up for everything, and it's like, if I don't dress up, can I go? Like, will I be able to enjoy the event? And I feel like that is so valid. Because me personally, I like to dress up. I know there are some people who like don't have the means to, or like don't dress the way that everyone else dress. And I feel like as much as like people want to like reduce the narrative that all black people are the same, especially in my school, like they want to stress that like we're not all the same person, we're individuals, yada yada yada. Like, if you like chastise somebody for not being the same as you, literally how does that make you look? When I first got here, it was very like disheartening to me, just because I don't come from like a place where like I come from a very black neighborhood. Like, I went to school with mostly black people, pink. Went to school with mostly black people, and coming here, I was like, okay, we about to have some type of diversity, and I was shocked at first because when I got here, I'm like, oh my gosh, there are literally no black people here. And then I like met the black people here, and there was like 6 of us, and I'm like, okay, hey, me, all 6 of my friends, hey, we out here, But it's very interesting because I had the like understanding that you would go somewhere new, you would meet new people, you would see people from all around the world. And for the most part, I really have had the opportunity to do that here, which is great. But I also think that there's like a stigma with like HBCUs and how they're only black. Um, I don't go to an HBCU obviously, so I can't speak to that experience. But I even I had that idea where it's like, oh, I don't want to go to an HBCU because all I'm gonna see is black people, and that's from what I'm understanding now, and like seeing now with my friends who go to HBCUs, that is just not the case. And I really wish people would like learn a little bit more about it, or like counselors in high schools would tell you more about it instead of just letting you think that because you go to a PWI or because you go to a top 10 institution that your education is like better than everybody else's, or if you go to an HBCU you won't be as successful, because that ain't the truth. And I think that's why the whole HBCU versus PWI debate exists, because these are things that have been like rooted in us to where it's like, oh, I can't go to so and so school because I'm trying to get a job. And I hear that from so many people where it's like, oh, I can't go to insert HBCU here because I actually want my degree to mean something. And it's like, I see like why people would say that, because there are like some differences when it comes to not necessarily accreditation, but like structure and capital that HBCUs have versus the PWIs, especially in my state. Like, my university gets so much, the University of Florida gets so much money from the government, from outside sources, whereas places like FAM, they don't have that type of infrastructure to support them. So I can understand it from that state, but now you kind of like figure out the values, and it's nice to kind of see like this is a place that was created for me by people who look like me, because at my school oftentimes it gets like very exhausting because it's just like there are a lot of things that exist that do not take me and people like me into consideration. I'm gonna cut my crease just a little bit. Cut it, cut it, woo, cut it, cut it. That crease is way too low. You need to cut it. Your price is way too high. You need to me at college. Your price is way too high. You need to cut it. So yeah, there are like a lot of things at my school that I noticed, and I just kind of like know that when they were created, they were not created with me in mind. And it's something that you always gonna have to be conscious of at a PWI. And it does get really exhausting, like to just be like a black leader trying to navigate a white space, because people just don't realize, or they don't know just how different it is. Because I have friends who like they come here and they have a network of people to talk to and to work with. And luckily for me, I was thankful enough to where a lot of people from my high school came to the university that I go to. But if you are somebody who is like first gen, you don't know anybody who comes to your college. What are you supposed to do? And you're a black student or you're a minority student, like what are you supposed to do? And I feel like some of my white counterparts who come to the school or go to college or do anything, they have so much more leverage. They have so much more room for error. I got to college and I felt like this is it. Like me being in college has to slap. It has to go as hard as it possibly can. And I have to go as hard as I possibly can because I don't know anybody else like who can help me, or who, if I F up, who can be like, oh, it's okay, you know, don't do that next time, but here, because if I F up, I just F up. Like, you don't get second chances. So I'm gonna like go in reverse. So I went yellow, orange, pink, then I'm gonna pink, orange, yellow. If you go to an people think that if you go to an HBCU, like, you don't care about like your blackness and you don't care about your maintaining that. But I do believe that like I've had a black experience. My black experience hasn't been the same as everybody else's, and it won't be the same as someone who goes to an HBCU. Pause. I miss having a band. I really miss having a band. Oh my gosh. Like, yes, we have a band here. They're like a standard marching band. I miss having a or talking out the side of your neck. Yeah, I miss that aspect. And like, there are a lot of things. I miss like swag surfing and people knowing what you're doing. Like, but yeah. But outside of that, I do feel like I've had a black experience. I feel like I've made like black connection. What I will say though, I wish that my school had more black faculty. And it's just like, I get it, they're spread thin, I get it, I understand. But it would be nice to just have someone who was like mine. And I do feel like I have like a mentor, like a faculty mentor. But these lashes are my babies. These are from Your Lash Bar, and they're called Apple Teeny. But yeah, while we're talking about mentors, I don't know if this is a thing at other PWIs, but on my campus, everybody want to be a mentor to somebody like Black UF. I mean, everybody want to be a mentor to somebody, and I feel like so many people are trying to be mentors for the literally wrong, like the worst reasons possible. People trying to be your mentor, to be your boyfriend. People want to be your mentor for all types of stuff, and that ain't what it's about. Oh, dating on a PWI campus. If you want to date someone who is Black, woo, child, have fun because, like I said, few and in between. If you think seeing other Black students are few and in between, think about seeing other Black students who you want to date or talk to. Girl, this slim pickings, my goodness. Eyes are kind of sort of done for now. Prime. I like this baby skin. It like when I got on campus, I met some like seemingly nice enough people who like showed me, you know, the way of the campus, like how to get involved, what to do, do's and don'ts, and I'm thankful for that. But I also feel like I spent a good portion of my college experience like unlearning some of that because there is a very oh, my foundation. This Maybelline Super Stay slaps. I've never had a foundation be my perfect color. This one might not even be my perfect color right now just because like I have gotten just a smidgery too darker since I was like here for the summer. Well, since I've been back for the summer. But it's getting there, but it's literally like my perfect shade and I love her. I used to color correct. I don't color correct anymore. Ain't nobody got time for that. But yeah, so I kind of got in those positions to learn things for myself. I spent a good amount of time like unlearning things from people because I don't know if this is like a thing that's everywhere. Obviously, I don't go to every school in the world, but yeah. But yeah, obviously I don't go to every school on the planet, but there is like an involvement culture here at my school that's like very toxic. I feel like people have took the word toxic and ran it into the freaking ground, but like it really is because when I got here, I was under the impression that if you involve, you ain't and that is just not the case, and especially amongst like Black people here on campus, like people take so much clout put so much clout into people who have like been involved with like big name things. So, and I can see why because like I mentioned before, like it's hard to break into those spaces. So when you do it, it is to be celebrated and it's important, but it kind of gives people the impression that one, if you ain't involved, like you're trash, but two, like that people who are involved, like there's like this hierarchical. There's a hierarchy of like, okay, people who are involved, what they're involved in. Um, yeah, I feel like people put so much weight on certain things here, especially amongst the Black community. That is like some serious ASMR that's happening right now. Does this sound? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I be forgetting to blend my forehead sometimes, and I look at pictures and I'm like, ooh, child, the ugly. The unblended mess jumped right out. But yeah, people put a lot of weight on certain things, and I'm just like, I can see why it exists, but at the same time, like, people like shouldn't discredit the work of anybody else, you know. In the black community, like, people do literally everything, and this is just an observation. This is my opinion. I'm allowed to have an opinion. I feel like so many times people do like everything that they can on campus because, you know, toxic involvement culture, one, but people do everything they can on campus to lead up to them being involved with Black Greek life. And if you're familiar with like the Divine Nine, the National Panhellenic Council, like, it is to be understood that the work that they do is like very important and has been important for hundreds of years, well, over 100 years. And it's just kind of like, I can see why people will work up to do that, but on my campus, it's just like people, it's obvious that people do everything else in their college career to be Greek. And, you know, it takes a certain level of leadership and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But I think since people know that people work so hard to do those types of things, they kind of like put people who are involved with like Greek life on a pedestal, and it really shouldn't be that way. That shouldn't be the only thing that people like look forward to. And I think that's like what I kind of like about like when I see my friends who go, "Ooh, that just okay, that just completely scratched my face, great." But that's what I like appreciate when I see my friends who like go to HBCUs, because it's like, yes, they have Greek life exists, but they have other things that are like important and respected. And I feel like that's the biggest issue, is like you can work your whole time and people will be like, oh, well, are you da 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 da? Oh, no? But yeah. And I also feel like when it comes to involvement on like PWI campuses, it's kind of like, who is going to be the token Black person? Like, since there's so few of us here, it's kind of like we all have to fight to do things on campus and to be known on campus and to get respect on campus. And like, it kind of gets cutthroat in ways. And I would be hypocritical if I was like, oh, the involvement culture at my school doesn't benefit me, because it definitely does. Like, I'm involved with a lot of things on my campus, but those are things I'm involved with because I care about them. And I also feel like that's a thing too, but hey, I will say though that I think that there is a sense of community amongst the like Black students on my campus, and I can appreciate that, because it was like, I feel like it doesn't come out all the time though, and that's the problem that I have, is like, we do have a sense of community, but sometimes it can be retroactive. Like, some things will have to happen for us to like band together as a community, and it shouldn't be like that. We should literally always do that. But you know, people have their thoughts and ideas, child, about how things should be done, and if things aren't done in the way that agree with them, then disarray happens. When you hear about like the history of people, I feel like you hear about people who have fought in the streets, who have expelled, like not expelled, who have withdrawn from school, think like they weren't all they probably didn't all like each other. They probably didn't all like, you know, feel the same way, but they banded together to make things happen. It's just admirable, and it's like something that I feel like people forget on my campus and otherwise, that like these are spaces that were not made for us to navigate, and the fact that we're here and we act like we need to be divisive and we need to be separated, that is so dead. Like, I don't care who you are. And if you go to my school and you're watching this video, I don't care who you are. We should all work together. Like, point blank, period. Because there are things that have happened. So, Richard Spencer came to my college. If you aren't familiar with Richard Spencer, he is a white nationalist, alt-right-ist, a complete disaster actually. But he came to my school, and I think in that moment when we really needed to like act together, there was still so much that happened. So we had a group of people who were protesting. We had a group of people who were not protesting because they were like afraid of violence. Personally, I was just like appalled because people were like, oh, you don't care about the cause if you don't go out there and protest. And I'm just like, who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Like, of course I care about students, or like, of course people care about students, because we're students. We're in this place and we're in this space together. But you have to understand that there are different ways to go about things. And I think people are so like, especially on my campus, people are so like accustomed to doing things the way that they want to do them, that they're so closed to the other ways that there are to do things. And I'm just like, yes, we're all different, but it's okay to be different and still act as one. So I feel like that moment we could have been really leveraging the fact that there are people who were different. Like, yes, there are people who want to protest, but let's plan something together for people who want to like do other types of protests. It's just, you know, you have to use your noggin. Now I feel like people get so caught up in the, oh, he said, she said, they're doing this, that, and the third, so where it's just like, at this point, we aren't even really doing what we wanted to be doing, because we're fighting with each other about like how to move forward. I'm gonna take purple, so I'm about to like basically finish the rest of the rainbow. But yeah, I feel like there are so many times where it's just like, well, are we gonna like, are you actually gonna be about it when you talk about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could preach unity all you want to, but like when it's time to be unified, where you at? You know? And I feel like that is my biggest like struggle with being black at the PWI, is that in a way we kind of have to be unified. Like, we don't have another choice. Like, we don't have the option of, oh, I don't mess with so and so, so I'm gonna go over here. Like, it does not really exist, because if so and so, like, for example, I have a friend who has a lot of like white friends and whatever. So, you know, that's fine. You don't want to, if you don't want to be involved with the black community, that's okay. But what do you do when you hear about microaggressions, or you see that someone hung a noose in a college, or you hear about Richard Spencer? Like, how do you navigate your like white friend space in that way? So it's just kind of like a necessity to where like you have to be unified, even if you don't want to sometimes. And I think that is the biggest issue, is that sometimes people genuinely don't want to, or they have no intentions to, but circumstances force them to care. And I think that's like what it's like to be black in America in general, is that social justice and fighting for stuff like this can be so exhausting, but you literally have to care. Like, you have to, because it's about you. It's affecting your livelihood. It's just kind of frustrating I feel like I'm just ranting now, but you clicked on the videos over here. Kind of gets frustrating when you want things to happen and you and your community do band together and y'all do work together, and the administration looking at y'all like, don't care. It's kind of frustrating. There's a lot of things that go into play. There are a lot of oppressive forces around, but outside with being black at PWI, just to kind of touch some more before I like wrap up, I feel like you kind of get so caught up, especially here, like you get so caught up in trying to like be for the cause, be a part of the community, that you forget to do things for yourself. And I feel like I've forgotten that so many times that I've like been in my leadership positions. Sorry, I'm just like looking at myself because I'm cute. I've been in like my positions and I've done things where I'm just like, what do I even do for fun? What do I even do that's like not black related, not something like not social justice related, not XYZ related, it's just for me. And that's like something that I feel like black students are not awarded that same type of luxury of like I mentioned, having that network or even having like time to just decompress. So my word for y'all is to like find, no matter who you are really, find the time and find something that you like to do. Like my YouTube channel, you know, I love y'all. I want us to grow and my channel to grow, but I do YouTube for me, like. So here we are, finishing Lewk. Child, I am cute. So basically what I wore that night was like this printed like blazer with a short set. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't seen it already. Link in Instagram in the bio, in the description bar. Everything I use on my face will be in the description bar down below. I hope you all enjoyed hearing like my perspective as a black student on campus, as a black student on my campus. I think these are important conversations to have, and I love sharing my opinion with you all. If you like what I said, if you didn't like what I said, if you want to add to what I said, you know what to do. Comment down, that was so ugly. Comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, 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 hey. Ain't no music playing, but hey, hey. About to go get a Snoopy. Hey,